first,
I
Oh
thought it
my
was
God.
4-1.
That's great.
4-0.
The last one I got was 4-0, but.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
Every,
five,
every
four,
time we have
I
a
know.
meeting,
I know.
they score
We
like
scored
4
we
or
have a
5
meeting
goals.
Wednesday.
We have to
kidding.
have a
We need to
meeting
meet
on
Wednesday
Wednesday.
night.
Can we post?
Can we post at 6
Yeah, you
o'clock
can.
and
You
we'll get
post
done
right
at
now.
7:30?
I'll write to Barbara.
They pulled their goalie? Oh, it's going to end up like 15 to nothing. Oh, you mean
Oh,
they
they put
switched
another one
goalies.
in.
All right, all right, all right.
Psychological warfare.
Okay,
They
let's
may call it by the end of the second.
let's get back to business
All right,
here
just had to get
because
that
Still
score,
the
though,
first
thank you.
period? I'm sorry, I missed
Yeah,
that
still the
fact.
first
Oh my
period.
gosh.
we have some great work ahead of us here, and this is actually a lot of work's gone into this. We have some policy reviews that we have to do, and policy reviews require a first and second reading for approval. And the first is the family medical leave, and I think this is a new policy that we're implementing. This is a product, I think, of the school committee council and the superintendent and the policy subcommittee putting this together. And it's important because not only is it gonna be a policy adopted by the school committee, but it's certainly gonna find its way into some of our all of our collective bargaining contracts as well. I think some of the way this was handled in the past was a past practice type of situation, and now it's going to be clearly defined how we're going to deal with this. I think we came to the conclusion, Mel, that we weren't
We don't
necessarily
have to
going to
read them aloud anymore.
Okay.
But each member should read it, and especially between the first and second reading, and any changes that.
I'm gonna ask the superintendent to just point out some of the highlights of this policy. Kathy, do you wanna do that, or does somebody else wanna take the lead on that?
Policy subcommittee members?
Do you feel comfortable doing it?
Sure.
Okay, why don't we have the
Sure.
superintendent, we're just gonna point out some of the highlights of this policy. It's GBRIG, it's a new policy, and then we're going to vote on a first reading, okay?
Correct. The FMLA is the Family Medical Leave Act. It is a federal regulation. And so this policy now provides guidance in accordance with that federal regulation. So the policy addresses eligibility. It also takes a look at the types of family and medical leave that we're talking about within the policy. It also gives some guidelines around requests and notices. It provides an opportunity for an employee to have information regarding how confirmation of leave will take place, and as well as what's allowable regarding length of leave under FMLA. There are special rules that are applicable to the employees of schools, and so that has been laid out in this policy as well. There is a requirement now of certification on the part of the employee prior to return when an employee is out on FMLA. And there's also guidance here around the use of paid sick leave. That's an important addition because, as you had mentioned, Jerry, this was based on past practice, and now we have clear guidelines that will assist us in making those decisions going forward. In addition, it talks about the maintenance of health benefits when the FMLA is invoked. And it will, as you mentioned, find its way into all of the collective bargaining agreements it has in the past regarding those that we have already negotiated and will continue to do so as we move forward with our negotiations.
And Kathy, this was reviewed by council and
It was written by council.
written by council, okay.
And reviewed by our policy subcommittee in great detail, word by word.
Any other comments? And then we're gonna take a vote on first read.
I just want to add that it's really important that we have this. It's also important that we're putting it into all of our contracts,
Agreed.
which it wasn't in before.
Agreed.
So,
It's been a pet peeve of mine for a
Yes.
while, so. Okay. I'm gonna ask for a motion to approve for at first reading, the policy GBRIG. Do we have a motion? A motion by Mr. Bowers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Webster. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Next policy. We have several policies that it looks like we've had them amended or updated or some language changes made.
That's correct. This
Okay.
is Section C of the policy manual. As you know, we're doing a systematic review. The policy subcommittee has taken this on valiantly. And there were 4 policies where substantial changes were made. And you can see that they were checked off on the Section C index, as well as tracked changes provided for you in your school committee packet. One was the district organizational chart that was updated to include the new titles of various positions. The second was the recruitment of principals. You can see that there were minor changes that were made, but we thought we'd bring them forward to you. approval of handbooks. There were some edits that needed to be made, so that was made within that policy. And then regulations dissemination. There was just a small change that was made. And that's it,
Okay. I just had one quick question.
yes.
On the approval of handbooks, I see that it went from his to her judgment.
Should be his, her.
Yeah, shouldn't we do his, her with a,
Yeah, it seems to make sense,
that
only
way in the
because.
future, if we ever have a his as a superintendent again.
Oh, Oh, okay, yes.
Just
Save
so
it
we
as
don't have
his
to
or
change
her.
it every time we
Huh?
hire a
Slash.
superintendent.
His slash her.
His slash her.
His or her.
His or her is fine.
Just slash his note.
Okay, that's the only thing I,
Yes.
unless Ms. Willis is declaring herself superintendent for life, I don't know.
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, as far as CCAE, that's the district organizational chart, do I have a motion to approve for first reading the changes?
Can we, I think the last time we
Do 'em all?
made a
Do 'em all
motion to
together.
approve the revisions of section C of the
Section C, okay.
Policy.
Nobody else has an individual objection to anything else then? No. Okay,
No.
so can we have a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
changes to section C? Mr. Bowers made the motion.
Second,
Mr. Webster seconds.
first reading, right?
First reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion carries by a vote of 5 to nothing.
Hooray. Yay, policy subcommittee.
Yes, way to go.
Just update the.
Yeah, good
we have
job.
a non-meeting until September.
Move right through
Why don't you
C.
do that now?
We might as well give you the update pertaining to our scheduling for the policy subcommittee.
Okay.
So
Go
we're
ahead.
not
Yep.
planning on meeting until September
Okay.
again. So that was our final
Okay.
meeting, and then we have, I think our objective is to go through D by then.
So you finished C, we're finished with C, that's it.
Yeah,
We're
Much
going to
finished
D.
with C.
All right, God bless you. We need it.
You
I
learn,
think
you
you
learn
said
a
that.
lot, that's for sure.
Bad word.
And next on the agenda, we have the Administrators
Just opened a
Association,
can
I'm
of
sorry, the
worms.
Administrators Association Contract Agreement. And I'll
Yes.
ask the superintendent to summarize that for us.
Yes, I have been in negotiations with with members of the administration. The members under this contract include the Director of Academic Services, the Director of Pupil Personnel Services, the Assistant Director of Pupil Personnel Services, the Assistant Principal of the high school, and the Assistant Principal of the middle school. And so there is an agreement that has been put together for this North Reading Administrators Association. And I did negotiate with a representative of those 5 people to achieve the following. Under sick leave, Article 5, there had not been previously a cap on the amount of sick leave that was accrued, and the association has agreed to cap the number of sick days from year to year up to 220 days. So we have now instituted a cap on sick days. There was a sick leave buyback provision under Article 6, and the administrators, current administrators and future employees have agreed to eliminate this entirely from the administrator's contract. So there will no longer be sick leave buyback
Great.
in this contract for these administrators.
Everyone get up and dance, just right now.
Under Article 9, Family Medical Leave Act, there is new language regarding the policy that we just read. It's for the FMLA as well as the MMLA, which is the Massachusetts Maternity Leave Act. There was there were some grammatical errors under Article 11, Legal Protection. We've changed that. Under Article 15, Vacation, there is no vacation buyback, but we negotiated that administrators very often do not use the vacation from one year to the next for whatever reason. So this new language reads, up to 5 unused vacation days may be carried over from any one year to the next, but there is no buyback. So it's just a matter of carrying it forward.
So let me ask a question on that. They can't say a second year, carry the 5 from the year before plus 5 more, so it's 10, and then it's
No.
only 5.
It's only 5.
Okay.
Only 5.
Okay.
And it's up to 5.
Right, okay.
And then there's been a past practice in this district, when you're a first-year administrator, it's very hard to use all of your vacation time because you're trying to do the job. And so in this contract, we put in the language of past practice, which reads as follows. An administrator shall be entitled to buy back up to 10 unused vacation days during the first year of employment at that year's per diem rate. And even though they work 230 days, the per diem rate is based on 260 days because we do pay for vacations and holidays.
You said
Thank
that's
you.
been a past, that's been a practice that's
A
been.
long-standing
place,
past
okay.
practice.
All right, so might as well.
So
put it in
again,
the
for
contract.
clarity for whoever sits in my seat going forward, they're
Right.
going to have this information that I gleaned from other people. A written request for payment for unused vacation days must be made